I think Derek has an exponential amount of pressure on him. I can't get over how good Devontae was in that game, how awesome Devontae Adams is. Derek, I mean, part of his maturation as a player was like he's in complete control of the game. So if he throws picks, he might as well just be a bad player. I mean, I can live with interceptions if you make a ton of plays. You can't have 3 picks, 2 in the second half against a really good team. Like that's death. That's automatic death. Playing a playoff team on the road, even though it's probably closer to a Raider home game. I would say for good players, guys that we think highly of around the league, I'd say anyone that's a top 14 quarterback, he had one of the worst games of the week. Just a horrendous performance. I text someone that was involved in the game that just was like, that responded gross. And if you watch him, like he still makes other good throws, but those picks were, you were watching it live. Crippling.
Yeah,
right?
Crunch time. Made no sense.
Crippling.
The deep ball didn't make any sense. The other interception, but the deep ball made no sense.
And now
it made sense in the context if he was just trying to force it to Devontae, but that can't be the way they play. There's no reason for it. They got enough other good players.
Cardinals are in shambles, got a ton of injuries. I just think they're not that good. The Raiders are a big favorite for a reason. There's better. Like, if you told me you lose to the Chargers, I don't think that's that weird. If you tell me you lose because Derek has 3 picks, 2 in the second half, like that's unacceptable. If you're unacceptable for a winning, like you're not going to win. And to me this week, it's like, I just think he has a lot of pressure because the coaches, Devontae, like these guys are here to stay. Obviously, Derek's not necessarily going anywhere, but like part of it is to ingratiate himself to his new coach. I would imagine Josh had some conversations with Mick Lombardi, his offensive coordinator, when they were in the office together, feed up over some coffee and some crepes or cheeseburgers or whatever the hell they were eating in that Vegas office. We're not too positive. Like this, we can't have this. Because one thing that the New England offense has always been is one making the right play, right? Brady, if anything, got pushed back. Well, he doesn't always. He just dinks and dunks you to get death sometimes. Yeah, and it works. Because they, like you said, the one pick to Devontae, they were at the 38-yard line or whatever, driving. They were down less than a score.
First down. Triple coverage. Ultimately, and Herbert was good, but it wasn't. It didn't. 24 points is what. It's not like the Chargers scored 38 points to win that game, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Ultimately, to me, Frank, I'm not sure he's a good coach. His quarterback position has been very quiet. Like Matt Ryan might be shot.
It's true, but he wears Carson. And like Carson looked good week 1. Carson's on him, right?
But the owner, if I was defending him now, maybe he was on board too, made them trade him.
How shitty he was. The fact that Carson failed in Indy is on Frank, because that's Frank's guy.
Yeah.
So he
That's
wears
the one
it.
time.
Then the owner says, you were wrong. I'm getting this guy the hell out of here. So then he gets Matt Ryan. Then they tie week 1. Now they go to Jacksonville, who like owns them, and who's 0-1.
2004, haven't won there since 2014.
That's crazy. He's on the hot seat. I'd say, those are probably maybe that and Cliff.
Well, wouldn't you say whoever loses this Raider Cardinal game that is 0-2, it's going to feel like a bad 0-2. Even though if you're, for example, the Cardinals, you lost to the Chiefs where you were an underdog, and then you lost on the road to the Raiders where you were an underdog. Like they haven't lost a game that anyone thought they were going to win. This game, you could say, might be a coin flip. You could argue they have the better quarterback. Time will tell. But there is no disputing that Kyler can have a better game than Derek. How they play over the course of the season. Like last year, would you argue Kyler was the better player? Well, he definitely had a better first half of the year, but over the totality, like he really let you down the stretch, where Derek kind of raised his game toward the end. But then in the playoff, Kyler was a 0, and Derek had a pretty ugly moment at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Pretty actually similar individuals, right? Very polarizing for different reasons.
MVP
no one's going to question Derek's work ethic.
Yeah.
But I would say that they would top the polarizing charts, those two.
Yeah, those. Derek's been doing it longer. polarizing the league, right?
For about, what do you think, about 5 straight years?
I mean, Derek and Kirk. Feels like Derek creates more arguments because everyone kind of agrees on Kirk.
He's like, actually, he's pretty good now. I think
Yeah, just
he's got some
fine as long as you don't
limitations, but
expect
pretty
too
good.
much. It's like going to a
Yeah.
4-star, a 3.5-star restaurant that 3.5 stars. You're not expecting anything. There's arguments about Derek, like, is he 5 stars? Right? And then other people think he's 2. Whereas I even feel like there's some agreement on Kyler. Like everyone's kind of on the same side with Kyler. Like, man, he could be great, but it's insane. Right?
Call of Duty.
Yeah. So, but Derek is like, there's real arguments on both sides of it. And sometimes one side wins, and sometimes, like the other day, the other side wins.
Well, if you're a Derek negativity hater,
Defender?
no, like you're rooting for him to fail because you
Oh.
don't think he's any good. Last week was a pretty good moment for you.
Yeah, I mean, he's also, there's going to be a lot of these games like this in his division where he just goes up against Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson. And who did I?
That is his division.
Yeah, well, that's what I just said. I guess he plays 6 games against those guys. And who did I hear saying this the other day? What was I listening to? It was a quarterback, and he was like, I know they say
JT O'Sullivan.
No, it wasn't JT. We was like, I know when you're playing the other guy, like you're not playing the other guy, but you are playing the other guy.